Good morning guys, and welcome back to a brand new Lucy on Cars. Someone commented the other day and I wasn't impressed. Karen on cars. I'm not taking it. I'm not having that. That's rude. Anyway, you may be, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you may be thinking, why are you not sat in that car? Why are you sat in this car? Well, a few months ago when I was filming one of my classic L322, well, it's not a classic L322. I'm calling myself classic. Is that a bit much? One of my L322 videos, and I made a comment and I said, would anyone like me to film videos on our other cars? So we've got two other cars, and quite a few of you said no. But for those of you who said yes, hopefully you're going to enjoy today's video. So I'm going to be doing a video about our beloved BMW 330e. It's a 2021 model, and we've had it for, it'll be 2 years this winter. So I feel like I know it quite well. Some of you may know my backstory a little bit. I used to work at BMW, so I do really know these cars inside out. I think I know a lot more about BMWs than I do about Range Rovers, but I'm trying to learn. So this does really feel like a very, very easy car for me to drive and to understand and hopefully talk to you guys about. So I'm going to do a little review, like an owner's review slash should you buy one slash favourite bits, worst bits. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know and I can do some more like it. If you hate it, please let me know and I'll not do another video on it ever again. So without further ado, I'll say let's start the engine, but it's actually already on. You just can't hear it because it's hybrid and it's currently an electric. So I'm just going to quietly reverse out of our drive and try not to run over the bins. So this isn't going to be one of those like talking through every single bit of specification in the car, because I don't know, that's not really my style, and it did used to be my job, so it doesn't feel very fun. If you're wondering what that noise is and you're new to the channel, we have a 1-year-old who's nice and vocal at the moment, doing some singing in the back. He's saying wee. He must like this car. He must think it's going very fast. Wee. So yeah, it's going to be more like what it's like to live with and my personal experience and my opinion and my input on the car. So yeah, I would say in terms of like ratio of how often I'm driving this versus the Range Rover, to be honest with you, recently we have been leaning into this a bit more, and I think it's for a few reasons. The Range Rover's due a service currently, and there's some smoke coming out of it. I'll talk about that more in another video soon. But this car is like my car that I will always drive to the gym. It's quite a lot more nippy. The handling's amazing and I can drive it a lot faster than I drive the Range Rover. I feel like the Range Rover's more of like, I'm not going to call it a bus in a negative way, I don't mean that, but the sheer volume of it, you can't really like throw it around corners like you would this. So I would say at the moment, with the lifestyle we've got, with what we're up to, with our constant running errands, we're quite busy at the moment out and about, I feel like this is kind of more of a perfect car for that. However, we do still drive the Range Rover maybe half the time. We take it on when we go on big walks and like family days out and stuff. And they've both got their purposes, and I don't think I'd want to say goodbye to either of them anytime soon, because they sort of tick different boxes in different ways. I think I've said before, if I could only pick one, it would probably be the Range Rover, because I could make that work for the other things, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're very, very happy having both right now. In terms of owning this, it's on a lease, and I think we're paying, is it about £500 a month, George? Yep. And that includes like maintenance and tyres and stuff. So I think it's quite a good deal, and it means we've got a brand new car under warranty, and if anything goes wrong with this, then we don't need to worry. It's not like, oh no, how much is that going to cost us, like it is with the Range Rover. My heart does not sink if a warning light comes up on here, although actually it never has. We've never actually had any problems, but it is a brand new car, so you kind of wouldn't expect it. So I'd say that my like main favourite part of this car would probably be the handling and how amazing it feels to drive it. It's really a driver's car, and I feel like BMWs are known for that. It was always my selling point when I sold them to people. I'm not trying to sell you this, by the way, but they are the best car. If you enjoy driving, they are just incredible to drive. Obviously, as a kind of an everyday car. If you're going sort of fast around a roundabout, or there's like a tight corner, you really, like, you probably should, like, safety wise and like law wise, but you don't have to slow down. The grip is honestly immense. It just sticks flat to the floor. There's no body roll whatsoever, and you never feel like, oh, that was a bit close, oh, that felt a bit funny. Like sometimes I feel like the back end might spin out in a car, but this is just completely gripped down. It is rear wheel drive. We didn't go for the X drive option, but it is actually quite hard to get the back end out on this thing. It is possible, it has been done, but it is quite tricky. Obviously, as it is a hybrid, you get all of these different driving modes as well. So we need to get like a proper charging point fitted, but we've got it currently plugged into the garage and using the cable that it came with to plug it in, and you can get a charge in overnight. And then the maximum, I mean, have we got any at the moment? Yeah, we've only got 18 miles of electric right now, and then we've got just over 3/4 of a tank, and it's saying the total combined is 208 miles. So it's actually not a crazy amount of range. It really isn't, like, obviously it's not fully electric. It's not something you could drive for ages, but it does make it more fuel economical. What?
Economic. It makes it more economical.
Yeah, it makes it more economical. It makes it more economical with fuel. Probably gonna have to leave that in because it'll be quite funny to watch, I'm sure. I find we're not filling it up very often because we charge it so much that we get through a tank maybe, when did we last fill this up? A couple of weeks ago, and it's still in 3/4. Plus it's a very, very small tank. It only takes about 45 pounds of petrol. The petrol engine in this is 1.5 litres, but it's got a combined power, and it's got about, I think it's 290 brake horsepower. So when you put your foot down, actually, maybe that's my favourite part, the acceleration is crazy. Honestly, if you have it in extra boost mode, which is like the most sporty option that you've got, and you put your foot to the floor, it basically gives you 10 seconds of the full horsepower, and you're flung back in your seat. It's like stealth at Thorpe Park. If anyone's been on that, it's kind of how it feels. It's a bit crazy, and I feel like if you've got passengers in the car, probably don't want to be doing that, but when you're driving on your own, it's very, very fun. And obviously, being a brand new BMW, you've got all like the nice techie features. You've got little things that make your life easier, like for example, you've got the speed limit display on your dashboard, so if you're in a new area, you don't know the speed limit, you can see it there. That's like a very simple but very, very helpful thing. All the navigation's great. We've got like the professional navigation system. The iDrive's really easy to navigate. I know this car like the back of my hand. It's a slightly newer model than the ones that were coming out when I worked there, but it's like once you've had a BMW, I feel like you know that language and you can just bring it forward into the next car. And we've had BMWs for years now, so it really feels like an easy transition for us. And when you come out of the L322 and into this car, you feel very low on the road, which is nice to have sort of both, but I do probably prefer the driving position of the Range Rover being that much higher up for visibility, for safety, and I think it's just quite fun being quite high up. I can't really do a 0 to 60 to show you guys today with our son in the car without giving us a whiplash, so I'll put in a little clip now from George's channel when we first got the car and he did a little review.
Okay, I've got a tiny little opportunity here then to try extra boost, so I will put it into extra boost, foot down now. Oh my word, that was just up to 30 miles an hour in first gear. Whoa, wow, okay. That surprised me again. I don't do that often. And you can see quite how fast this thing goes. So now talking about negatives and things that I don't love quite as much. We originally bought this car as a family car. We thought, we're having a baby, I'm pregnant, we should probably get an estate car. You know, that's like what you do when you have kids, right? Well, there's several reasons why that wasn't a very good decision, and if I could go back in time, maybe we wouldn't sign up for a 4-year lease on an estate car. Well, on this estate car, I said it, there you go. Because looks can be deceiving. Although the boot is technically quite big, I mean, firstly, the battery's in the boot, so a lot of the underneath boot space is already taken up with the battery, but also the loading area? Is that the word? Capacity, yeah. The boot's quite big itself, but actually getting stuff into the boot is quite difficult because the opening's quite small. The seats are ridiculous. So in the back, you've got the kind of slanted seats. So once you've got your car seat on there with the swivel base and the Isofix and the high-tech bells and whistles that you want to keep your child safe in this day and age in the car with all the amazing technology we've got, I'm very grateful for that. However, it's absolutely ginormous. And George is filming me right now with our baby behind him in the car seat, and he is 6'3" and his knees are touching the dashboard. His head is like this because we've had to push the car seat so far forward to actually allow for him to be able to sit there with our baby in the back. So honestly, I would not recommend this car to anyone other than, like, if you're a single parent who never has anyone else in the car, you're fine. But because I'm fine, I've got loads of room, there's loads of room behind me, but as soon as the car seat's in, there's no room in the front seat, and then if you've got a tall person driving in the front all the way back like George does, there's no room in the back seat. So basically I've spent the last year squished inside this car. Space isn't ideal here, and it's definitely something we didn't really consider. Once you've got a buggy in the boot, you're kind of done, that's it. And the amount of times we've had a full boot, gone to do a food shop and forgotten we're not in the Range Rover, and had to like squeeze shopping bags in behind the seats here,
it happens too often. So back on to talking about this being a driver's car. Actually, I was going to go into the negatives. I just thought of another positive. Let me just hop between a second. See, it's not very well thought out video, this. You've got the paddle shifts on the steering wheel here, so you can knock it into manual mode down here on the gearbox and have a lot of fun with that. The seats are super sporty and they're like bucket seats. You can be quite low down, and the steering wheel is very nice to hold on to. It's a nice, thick, chunky steering wheel, and yeah, it feels really, really sporty when you're driving it. Okay, hopping back to the negatives. This is a bit of a weird one. So, I can't remember exactly what happened, but basically this screen right here is supposed to be touchscreen. Every other model was touchscreen like this, but there was a handful. Was it something in the factory happened? I can't even remember. There was some supply issue where basically they gave us the screen that's meant to be touchscreen. It isn't touchscreen, and because the leasing company we went through, they had loads of these with these funny screens. There was like a fixed price, and it was like, if you want the car, this is it. But they didn't tell us before the car was delivered. So that was a bit of a funny one, wasn't it? So actually we've got a car that's meant to be touchscreen and you can't use it. However, I do actually quite like the fact that it's not touchscreen, because otherwise you get loads of fingerprints all over it. But it's a bit annoying that we've got a feature that we're meant to have that doesn't work properly. Okay, we're at a zoo. That's where we are. I feel like, well, mine don't the way he's about to reverse into you. I feel like we never film these videos in like classic car video places. We come to like zoos and places for kids, but it's all good, real life. But we're gonna end this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. We're really enjoying this car. I think another tease is perfect. Whether or not we go for something like this again, I don't know, but I'd highly recommend it if anyone needs a car like this. But I probably would recommend the Range Rover a tiny bit more. Maybe if you've got older kids who are in booster seats, you won't have the car seat issue. It's like the perfect family car for that kind of thing. I'll actually show you the boot now. It's full. It's got a couple of bags in and a buggy, and you can see here the battery is like taking up a lot of the room, so it's like a really high boot. So it's like, it's a good boot size, but for what we need it for, it's probably a little bit too small. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video today. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you've got any questions or you want more BMW content on the channel, then please do drop me a comment below and subscribe if you're new. And we'll see you very soon in the next Lucy on Cars. Oh, we've got a new camera, by the way. Let me know how it looks. Hopefully you're enjoying that. Hopefully it's looking better than the last one. But yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.